the benefit of a regional grouping is similar to at national level, but also at international level. Essentially, the point of an association is to bring people together who face similar, but sometimes slightly different problems, so that they can, and it's a two-way process. You're both giving and you're taking. So my first benefit is actually you're sharing, you're giving your experience, because unless everyone does that, it ain't going to work. So the second benefit, one hopes, is that you will be able to have an influence over what's going on in the region. The third one is to learn, because it's together with your colleagues that you can actually organise much better. And very often you find that in one country, especially if it has a fairly similar socio-economic background, then you will learn some of the what's happened in one country can be learnt from another. And lastly, you hope, one always hopes through associations, that their influence and their strength will bring in resources, programs and projects perhaps, and help to strengthen your own members in that way. I think the problems for a regional association are the same or similar to those of associations on different levels. The first one is you depend entirely on, or very heavily on, the engagement of your members. Life is always busy. It's slightly expensive to take part in these things when you go outside your national borders, and it can take time. So there is a cost to it. There's another risk of associations in the international sphere, is that the donors or those giving money will actually steer what you do away to what they think is important rather than what you think is important. And how you find a balance with limited staff and time and resources between making each of them feel that their problem is being dealt with, at the same time keeping a coherence in the work, is a very practical task. I think there's no perfect answer, because you have to provide for some crucial key points, but at the same time, unless you're doing, if a problem is really important to one member, you have to pay some attention to that, otherwise you risk losing them. If they are truly diverse, and actually I've known some nice stiff battles. The other thing is it's a peaceful place to try and resolve those disputes. Well, we hope it's a peaceful place. You can have some good tough meetings. This depends on a shared commitment to the democracy of the organisation. And what's terrible, and it will not work, if one says, if you do not do as I want, I will run away and never take part. And there are sometimes some risks of this kind, but hopefully in most associations, if there is that degree of trust, at least at a level that is necessary, you can work through these issues. But of course we can't solve civil wars in associations if it comes to that kind of problem. But most ordinary political and economic problems can be articulated, and at least everyone understands their points of view through an association. So it is another of the sort of more hidden benefits.